Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
This is our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like.
Check out our podcast also below in the description.
We did not want to be here today, John. Not because it's a Friday. That we don't mind. We grind 7 days, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
No days off.
We didn't want to be here talking about George Kittle's injury. The team that we picked as the lock of the week, the Niners -7. Kittle is out. Kyle Shanahan said it just after 1:30 in the West. A live report here. Barrows wrote there were no setbacks with Kittle's knee, which was hyperextended Sunday. Shanahan said if it was a normal person, we probably would have ruled him out earlier in the week. 3 active tight ends, Dwelly, Reed, and the rookie Charlie Warner. I found this news out when you called me and said, Kittle's out. And I went, no fucking way. After the game on Sunday, he was like, I feel great, feel amazing. But that's just George, I guess. Brutal, man. It doesn't stop. It does. This is.
Well, this is, to start with, this is why him and Jack Becta pushed to get paid before the season started, right? Because you're already seeing he's banged up. His numbers could go down. This is why you got to strike where the iron's hot. And I give them credit for they had to meet in the middle. They ultimately didn't get that $50 or $60 million, but they got way more than any tight end got, right in the high 30s, I think it was. So you just gotta take care of yourself because you do play a violent position. And from a Niners perspective, this is why paying a player, I love George Kittle. I mean, he's one of the more enjoyable Niners of my life as a personality and as just a talent. Like, he's an elite talent. I mean, everyone in the NFL admits they've literally voted him one of the best players in the league. We all agree. Whether you like the Niners, whether you hate the Niners, he's an elite player. But he now is like, he gets injured. And he's got a little Gronk thing to him because he's such a violent player. Now, this play is on the quarterback, who was atrocious Sunday. This is not George's fault. George guy looked fantastic in the first half, right? He had 4 catches for 44 yards. I kept thinking, like, God, he's going to get 8, 9 catches. He's going to have 100 yards, but he scores a touchdown in the second half. Then Jimmy Garoppolo, boom, thank God his leg didn't snap. But this is back to what we've been talking about all week. You got to thank the scheduling gods, because if this was a game, somehow you're playing Seattle and Buffalo the next 2 weeks, or it was New England and Seattle, or it was Green Bay and the Saints, or just or the Rams, just some random combination, you'd be in a little trouble, guy, especially when you factor in you just lost. I'm not going to step off the stance of you got to win these next 2 games. Yeah. And obviously we have money on this game. I still feel really good about this game, but it shows you, like, there's a chance he doesn't play the following week. You know, one thing we saw the Giants against the Steelers, like, they played hard, and they definitely have more talent than the Jets. It's not easy to win without your best players, guy. Sherman ain't coming back for a couple weeks. Like, you're missing guys. Debo's out now on injury reserve too. You get to a point. Ask the Eagles. You can only compete in a game without
the Dream
so
Team
many
Eagles?
starters.
Those Eagles?
No,
the Vince Young
the
Dream
Howie
Team
Roseman injured Eagles of the last several years, right? They consistently have just been, well, we'll just figure it out. We're missing 7 starters. Oh, we're missing 9 starters now. Yeah. You do hit a point. Do you agree that it's just
you run out of players?
I don't care who you're playing in the NFL. It's not easy to win.
The NFL, right? Especially for the best coaches, it is about the X's and the O's. It is also about the Jimmies and the Joes. It's about both. And this guy is the biggest X or O, whichever, on the 49ers offense. And I think you look back at the Week 1 game. If you could take one Garoppolo throwback, it wouldn't be the throw to the corner of the end zone to Kendrick Bourne that could have been the go-ahead touchdown. It would be this throw, because not having George Kittle can cost you more than one game. Like you said, you still – I don't know how many guys we got to go through on the depth chart before we would say the words, maybe you shouldn't beat the Jets this week. I'm confident we're still not close to that, just because most of their defensive personnel is still there. They still got a lot, and they still have Kyle. And, again, I will still at this point be surprised if they don't find a way to win this game. But they have to find a way to win this game. And I think what you said is right. Big picture with George in terms of, paying a guy, why he would want to be paid, why you hesitate to do it, all that stuff is true. But the fact is, this year, you are the defending NFC champions. And we saw it with the Harbaugh 49ers. You can go to multiple Super Bowls. You can go to multiple NFC championship games. The Seahawks have done it. Obviously, Belichick's done it. The Saints have done it. But I would argue, like the Saints or the Packers or all these teams that have consistently over the course of their quarterback been conference championship contenders, Super Bowl contenders, Those are multiple different windows that they have played in, right? That's not one window. When you go to the Super Bowl, your team starts getting expensive. Your window is, at least for that
2-3
version
years?
of your team, 2-3 years. Like this is part of that window. And they started getting hurt, and the year was weird, and it was like, but you know what? Returning coach, returning quarterback, a lot of guys returning on defense with a weird offseason. This should benefit the 49ers. They're in the group of teams that it benefits. Jimmy should be better. Like, there were all these things that pointed to them having the chance to be as good as they were last year. But we knew it'd be harder because it's starting 8-0 is hard, and there were just all these other little factors. But this is one that if we went through all the factors like 2 months ago and said, what are the individual things that can make it the hardest for the 49ers to go back to the Super Bowl, for them to really compete, to be one of the best teams in their conference, it would be this right here. And maybe in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe he'll be fine. Maybe he'll be able to play through it. Maybe he'll look like George Kittle. But we just know the year is long. Things add up. If I had said to you, yes or no, is George Kittle going to be banged up at some point this year before the season, you would have absolutely said, without question, that's going to happen. So you hope maybe you get it out of the way early. It doesn't happen again. But, the fact that he's out, part of what it tells you is like they know they just can't allow this to be a thing for the next 14 games. They have to get it over with now. It can't be something that nags him the rest of the year.
I think we all agree. If they're going to beat the Rams twice or compete with the Rams, Seattle, Green Bay, which I think it's fair to say, even though it's based off one game, that Rodgers got a little more pep in his step this year. We talked about it earlier this week on the podcast, right? He's already kind of saying how great the offense is he's comfortable in it. They're going to be better than they were last year offensively. The Saints were already tough last year.
Arizona just beat you, so
this is their best player on the team. They need this guy healthy to beat these teams. They just do, because their team is not going to be as good as it was last year, and he's their best player, so they need him. I'm stating the obvious, but this is a concern because now it's not like when's Kittle going to get banged up? When's he going to get dinged up? Like he is. Like now it's tangible, and it's just, is this going to be a thing? Is he going to come back and be 90% and you're going to worry every time he gets tackled? It's concerning, guy. They're just not trying to be an alarmist, but we're just being real here. You miss the week fucking 2 of the season, and you don't have a catch in the second half after you get hurt. I got something for you. A lot of pressure's on Jimmy Garoppolo to step his shit up, right? He's got to be – I think there are 3 polarizing quarterbacks this week that the magnifying glass is on. Obviously, Carson and Dak, and you say the magnifying glass is always on those two, the Cowboys, the Eagles. But I think the heat came in the playoffs on Jimmy, and you could feel it coming week 1. It was like, oh, Jimmy liability. Kyle doesn't trust him. And you know what? You can't push back right now because we all saw it. Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, I don't think Kyle was that into him week 1. So it's on him because we know Kyle can scheme guys open. Kyle told us guys were open Sunday.
Yep.
So you're going to have to find a way. And it's not going to be easy. You're going to be throwing to Mohamed Sanu, who won practice under his belt because of the corona. He couldn't practice till Friday. Then they're traveling.
Because he had to quarantine. Yeah.
But part of getting a huge contract and making money, like I think the criticism and the pressure on Jimmy's fair, but Kittle's not there to help him out anymore. Because Kittle often is like Kittle and Juszczyk, always have his back. But they make up for it because it's like get them the ball, fucking have Juszczyk just leveling people and running down their people's throats.
And I'd even say you always kind of felt like you could rely on Debo to bring it, right? Debo, you could always rely on Debo to bring it.
Yeah, but he's not there to help out.
Right.
It's just a bad deal, man.
Yeah, and I think this Jimmy thing is going to be a constant conversation whether this team was 100% healthy or not. Like just because of the criticism that he got, a lot of it came from the Super Bowl, so you can't erase Super Bowl criticism until you're back in that position. It's hard to. But now this is just it's not about the talk. It's not about what we say. It's not about where he ranks on the QB tiers. It's not about what is he over, what anybody thinks about his contract. It's about whether or not he wins football games where he is this can't look like, the Minnesota game where we go, yeah, but they didn't really need him. So it wasn't like they need him. They didn't really need him anymore. They need him.
But also, he's not going to get that much credit for playing well these next 2 weeks. Also, but he just needs to get his confidence.
Yeah,
his
I mean,
momentum
I'll tell you
back.
this: if it's the Jets, it's the Giants. You're right, but here's what I know: he's playing the Jets this week. He can't change that. He has to play well. So and we all know he has to play well, and the Jets know he has to play well, and he's gonna get under center. He's gonna look and he's gonna see Mohamed Sanu, who he just met 3 days ago. And he's gonna look this way. He's gonna see Dante Pettis, who I don't even know how many completions he's completed to Dante in a year and a half.
Not many.
It's not many. He's going to look. He's going to see Brandon Ayuk. He's like, oh, you're new. And there's Trent Taylor. Remember me? Yeah. I almost threw you the ball at the end of the game the other day. There's Kendrick Bourne. Remember me? Yep. Didn't connect with you the other day. And hey, Ross Dwelly, good to see you. Come on down. Jordan Reed, I met you like not too long ago either. All right. Charlie Warner, you're new. Good to see you. All right. And so he can hand it off to Raheem Mostert.
Just make some plays. Just go.
But
go
he's
going to
have to make. He is going to have. To your point, because we know he's going to have to make plays. Because everybody knows he's going to have to make plays. I will give him credit if he makes plays this week because it's like you said. I don't want to be alarmist. Take a deep breath. This does feel like a desperate situation, not because they can't win, but because they must win.
Yeah, I agree. For 2 weeks, must win 2 weeks, right? Must win 2 weeks.
Yep. Yeah.
We
must beat the Jets, not because it is easy, but because it is hard, and we must do it. It might not be that hard, but it could be. If I told you it doesn't look easy on Sunday, you'd believe me, right?
No, they should win by 10 points.
By how many?
No, they should
How many
win by
did you
double.
say?
Well, I mean, obviously they got to cover the spread, but they should win.
Yeah.
They should be in complete control of this game.
Well, they should still be able to run. They should. It's hard to say should anything with some of these receivers, but I do. Kendrick Bourne should be able to have a nice game. Jordan Reed should be able to have 4 or 5 catches. Mohamed Sanu, more on the record, John, 3 catches, 23 yards. 2 of them will be basically nothings, but he will have a 3rd and 15 that he picks up 16 or 17, like hash marks Mohamed Sanu. So
I'll just end it on this. Just go win the fucking game and cover the spread, and I'll tip my hat to Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Simple. Just go win the game, cover the spread. I'll be happy.
And deal with next week's problems next week.
Yes.
Right.
With the 0-2 Giants team.
That's right.